Hey friends, let's build a crafty car. We're going to need some glue and a pair of scissors. Any will do. This is what it's going to look like when we finish the step of cutting it out. So we're just going to start, trace along and cut all of those gray lines in there. Now what I'm going to do, and this is a hot tip, is just cut the outside and then we'll cut those individual little divots in later. So we're just going to trace the gray lines around the car and then cut into those black lines later. And you're going to see just how we cut around the outside and just do these exterior cuts. And then we're going to go in and do any interior cuts between those tabs. It just makes it a little bit easier to cut it out and a little bit cleaner. And the cleaner you cut this out, the easier it's going to go together and the easier it's going to fold. See, the crafty car is designed so that you don't have to be super good at cutting. A lot of the main folds of the car or the main lines of the car are actually going to be handled by folding, and the paper is very forgiving. So don't cut off this tab down right here at the front of the car. So be sure to cut that one. You could go as long as you want, even to the edge of the paper there at the bottom. So we're just going to continue cutting all of these out, and just like we did on the other side, go all the way around, and we'll worry about getting those little tiny notches in there later. This curve on the front is important to go in, but don't go too far in, otherwise it's going to be a little bit harder to assemble. And the same when we cut from the hood shape here. Now we'll cut the edge of the spoiler and cut the rest of this excess off. And then we'll go in and cut the top of the car. And that makes it super easy to get a really good car shape and not have to be very good at cutting. You'll just cut these little notches in right here on the back and then through the top of the car and the roof. And then we'll move towards the hood as we go a little bit further down. But just these little tiny V cuts are all that you need to do, and you're going to have some really nice lines. I missed the one back here, so we'll go back through and just remove that, and we'll do the same right on the other side. Then the next step's going to be pre-folding everything so it goes together really super simple and smooth. And then you could also kind of mold these tabs and fold them over, but you'll see that here in the next step. And just like that, we're all cut out. Now, this is a fun little bonus. If you want, there is a checkered flag on the Crafty Cup Series car. So you could actually cut this out, and all you need is a toothpick to make a cool accessory little checkered flag. So let's get that checkered flag out of the way here first before we get going to the car. Just grab any old toothpicks or any little stick, a skewer, anything like that. And then we're actually going to use this toothpick to help fold the flag right there on the line. So what you could do is just put the toothpick in there and then apply some pressure on either side of the flag. And that's going to get you a crease even though we're going to be folding the opposite way. So we're just going to test fold and make sure each edge lines up. And if that looks good, then the next step is going to be to glue this. So we could open it on up and add some glue. Applying glue all over on the inside, and then we're going to be ready to go here. Now, if you want, you could even put it on the stick here. Not needed, but it helps. Place the toothpick right down in that center of the fold that you made, and then all we're going to do is fold the rest over, and we're going to have a little checkered flag accessory. What's cool is even when the glue's setting, you can kind of bend it and fold it so it looks like it's waving too. So now we are here at our crafty car. We're going to get our glue stick. And before we go in and really start building this thing, we're going to add some pre-bends. So one thing that super helps out is there's a line right there on the rest of these scraps, and that's going to be a straight edge that's going to come in handy when we want to fold things like this back piece right here. So the first thing that we're going to do on the back piece is going to fold the white tabs on the side down. So that's going to trail along the side of the car and be our side support. So just go ahead and fold those right up. You'll notice that they fold pretty easily right on the body of the underbody of the car there. Then we'll do the same over here to the rear, right on that back bumper. And those will fold fairly easy as well. Next, we're going to need to pre-fold the lines on the bottom of the car for it to fit properly and just assemble super easy. So let's go ahead and grab that scrap piece that you fold over for a straight edge, align it right to the line that you'll see in the bottom of the car, and then just fold up. It's okay if this isn't the direction that we're folding. We could easily just create the crease and then fold back. So now we'll do it at the bottom of the bumper, holding right to the edge line and folding it right up. And then we'll repeat this last step for the spoiler. And it makes it easy when you hold the spoiler to the table and then fold the rest of the car up for a nice easy bend right there on the back of the car. Now then you could kind of start to pre-form it and see how it's going to go on the back of the car. That's going to be the bottom at the diagonal. And then we'll also have the bumper right there at the back. So we'll set that aside for right now. Next, we're going to pull up our main outside of the Crafty car. This is going to be our nose piece. We could fold that in. That's going to attach and glue to that bottom piece. And now here we'll do these edges, and these ones on the edge that only have one edge attached to the car are the hardest to fold. So if you need to cut anything else here, we noticed that we were off, we could recut that back in there. Now we'll continue folding all of the tabs. You'll just take extra care on these on the edges, right? The ones on the bottom and the top right here. Just take extra care because it doesn't fold as easily as these, right? So you see it just folds right over where it meets the body where the edge of the tab is. If you need to, you could roll it a little bit to make sure it goes right on that black line, marking the outside edge of the car. But it just makes it so easy to fold these in there and get a really, really nice straight edge shape. And I don't have to cut this. So made for super easy assembly and very, very clean lines. So we'll continue the process right over to the other side. Gently folding each one of these tabs down, rolling it over to get it as close to that line. But you'll find that depending on the quality of cardstock that you use, it should fold pretty easily over. Even with regular paper, this is a pretty easy step as well. Once we have them all folded, we're actually going to do the crease here right at the bottom of the window. Now, we don't need to fold this over all the way, but what we'll do is just gently fold it and then give it just a little bit of pressure. I'm not folding it all the way, you see? Not folding it all the way, about 90 degrees. I don't want to actually like super bend that, but just give it a little shape. It's going to make attaching the top super easy, and you're not going to get any deformations in the paper. It also adds a lot of strength to be able to play with this car after you build it. Next, we'll work right here on the front near the top of the hood where it meets the bumper, and we'll fold this over. You can see it is nice and lined up on each side and looks straight, and then we'll crease right there by the headlights. That's going to be our hood. We could start to pre-bend this too. If you add just a little bit of bend to it, it helps so much when the car goes together, because that's that little line that we cut near the front of the car. And so this is going to really hold the shape and really just go together super easy. Let's bust out that little guide again, and we'll hold it down and start from the back of the car this time. So we'll go from the spoiler, and then we're going to crease at the bottom of the window, but we are not going to crease at the top of that back window. What we're going to do instead is we're just going to bend it a little bit. So right here, we're just going to add a little bit of bend to it. Don't worry about it too much because it's going to go back. Now at the top of the windshield, we will crease right there on the black line, not the top of the windshield. You'll notice a little black line right above the windshield, crease there. And then at the bottom of the windshield where the windshield meets the hood. Once it's all folded, you could kind of pre-bend it here. And again, we're just going to give this little back window a curve, which is going to help assembly so much here in the next step. Making sure everything's nice and straight, you can see it folds together just like that. So let's glue it. We're going to grab the glue and we're going to start right here on the hood. We'll glue these side tabs, and it's easier to do one of these at a time because it's super important. We want to line the bottom of that windshield up right where it meets that side, right where my thumbs are meeting. And then just add a little pressure to those tabs, hold them together a little bit if you need to. And just make sure that's glued on right there on the right spot, right edge to edge, and right to that edge of the windshield where it should go up. Let's repeat the step on the other side. Again, just gluing that tab, making sure that where each bend is fits right nicely together. Then let's fold it back once it's dry, and we could work on the windshield now. I want to make sure those tabs are seated in there real nice. And we'll glue right here on these two tabs on the inside of the windshield. Now this one we're going to do both sides at one time because we won't have access to the other one once we glue one down. That's going to be how the process repeats through the top of the car here too. So we'll hold each side again, just making sure that the lines meet right up. The folds that you made should meet right to where the edges are on the side piece of the car. So it should fit together real nice and good. And now we'll fold that piece back, and now we're going to glue these 4 pieces on the top. Put some glue on each. And then we'll fold the top of the car down on all of them. If you see it drying up, just add some more glue. And here we'll kind of get that first one set, and then we'll move over to the second side. Set the top, set the bottom, and again, at the bottom of the window, you should notice that it fits real nice. And then we'll glue the sides and the rest of the top of the car right back here by the spoiler. Sitting that fold right down again where that cut is on the side of the body where that window comes down, and repeat the process on the other side. Now we'll fold out that bottom tab, and this is where we're going to glue our bottom piece to. Make sure they're lined up nice and straight. And we're going to make sure while it's still kind of wet, we're going to fold it over and ensure that it's going to line up properly. So we'll glue it down nice and straight. And hold it, give it a little bit of pressure, because then let's test it to make sure it lines up nice and good. And now this is going to fold in right to the sides here. Once that dries in there, and you'll see that it folds all the way around to the back of the car. Those tabs folding in, and the spoiler meets the spoiler for a nice solid car. This is going to provide a lot of side support while also supporting the back of the car. Add some glue to these tabs on either side. I usually put a good little bit here just because it takes a little while to get them lined up to the side and really pushed in there. So it also helps it slide around. So we're going to add them in now and just kind of bend out the side of the car and push it in. If you push it in too far like that, no worries. We'll just reach in and kind of pop it out. We're actually going to use the table as our friend here to glue the bottom of the car. So put the bottom of the car flat and hold it nice and squared in center. And then you can actually like reach in and support the side with your thumb on the outside and a finger on the inside to really hold that glue there. And we'll repeat the step on the other side, just pushing against the side of the car all the way back to get that tab nice and firmly planted against there. Now we'll work on the tabs on the bottom side of the car near the back. So we're going to go ahead and add some glue here to those, one on each side. And again, we'll glue both sides at the same time. Once we glue one down, we won't really have access to glue the other. And once we do one side and you push on in, let's switch on over to the other side. And just line the edge right up and hold it nice and good. Then we're going to focus on the back of the car. So we'll go ahead and put glue all over that top spoiler and the two side pieces here as well. Once we kind of put that spoiler together, we're not going to have too much access. So I try to go up to the edge on these tabs. Now make sure those tabs both fold in on the inside of the back of the car. And we are nice evenly aligned with that top spoiler. And you can start to pinch it together and move it into place. Just make sure it's all nice and lined up. Then we'll push the back of the car towards it together, and our Crafty car is complete.